I'm back behind my wheels. More like behind my husband's wheels. Anyway, I dented my husband's car. So what happened? The story. Let's jump straight into it. It was early February. I had freshly gotten my license. I was on my way to a boat cruise, a MSC cruise. And so me and my husband, we had to drive with two separate cars to Mossel Bay because I had to fly from there to Durban to get on the MSC cruise. And I drove with this car and he drove with his works car. And so everything went smoothly. I went on the trip, I came back, and I decided the night before I had to come back, I decided, okay, I'm going to wake up the next morning 5 o'clock and then I'm going to start driving 6 a.m. because it was far to travel from Mossel Bay to our home. It was 1,200 kilometers. So I decided, okay, I'm going to start driving 6 a.m. because then I will be there by 6 p.m. And the trip started great. I was driving great. I was enjoying the drive until I hit Van Reinsdorp. Now, this is a small town. It has two garages. When you come into it, it has a garage on the right that has an OK, and it has a garage on the left that has like a shop and a Mercedes. And so I park the car and I'm like, please just diesel. And I went inside and I got myself an Oreo ice cream because this is like my thing when I get there, is to get an Oreo ice cream. But when I pulled into the rightmost pump that there was. And so I get my ice cream and I go back outside and I catch the right back wheel in my mirror. And I'm thinking, this wheel looks flat. Because bear in mind, I knew there was a screw in that tire. So I knew that tire wasn't great. And I cannot change tires. I mean, my husband has told me, so, okay, in all fairness, maybe I do know how to change tires, but I do not have the arm strength, you know? And so I asked this guy, do you think this wheel looks flat? And he's like, no, you're standing in a dip. That's why you're standing in a dip. And I'm like, I'm not going to believe you because I'm a woman alone and I have to drive 600 kilometers and I cannot change a wheel. So no, I'm not going to believe you. I'm still going to be checking this tire in my mirror when I drive off. And so now I'm starting the car, and in front of the car there was the Mercedes, and like they have these cars on show, and next to it 2 other cars stood park. So when I have to drive out, I have to go a little bit left in order for me not to hit the nose of my car against those cars. So I have to go a little bit left. So I already start turning a little bit left. I look in my left mirror and I don't see anything. Hello, blind spot. Anyways, I don't see anything, so I'm fine. Go a little bit left. Now I start driving off and I keep watching my right mirror to watch this right back wheel. And the next moment I hear what I will only describe as it sounds like a tin just like got stuck on the wheel and started going with the wheel, like got dragged with the wheel. And I brake immediately. Check my left mirror. I had hit a pole with the left side of the car, exactly where the diesel cap is. I had hit the car, and so now I'm stressing. I'm like this. It took me like 2 minutes for the realization to kick in, like, listen, you just hit this car and now you have to call your husband and tell him you just hit his car, his most beautiful car, his new car that has never gotten one dent, one scratch, nothing. You just gave it a dent. And now I'm like, oh. So I pull out, I go into a random street, stop in front of some random person's house, and I call my husband. But I'm like this on the phone, and I'm like, listen, something had happened. And he asked me, are you alright? I'm like, I'm fine. And he's like, okay, what happened? I said, I dented your car. And then he was like, okay, how does it look? And I put on video call and I show him the car. And in this moment, the car looked much worse than when I actually got to him, but we'll get to that in a second. And so I'm showing him the car and he's like, okay, it's fine. Like, just calm down. You know, you still have 600 kilometers to drive. Just come home safely to me. Calm down, get home safe. And I'm like, okay. I cried from that diesel pump up until Springbok. Now, those two towns are 250 kilometers from each other. So I cried non-stop for 250 kilometers. Then I got to the next town. I bought myself a cool drink. I got back in the car and I started crying again until the next town, which was another 180 kilometers. So I got to that town and then finally I calmed down, got a little bit less hysterical, and I was like, okay, this is the last stretch, the last 180 kilometers that I had to drive. And so I hit the gravel road, because we had like a gravel road, and at the start of this gravel road, I'm like, I have to do something to make this look better. And I'm so stupid because I get into the back of the car and start like stepping on the sides of the car, thinking it will push out the dent. Hello. And so next moment, it's not going to do anything. And so I decided, okay, maybe I can just do something on to these scratches. So I grab a tin of spray, like body spray of my husband that was in the car, and I start spraying that dent. Listen, I sprayed out that whole body spray on the dent. And so the dent was nice and wet, and so I took toilet paper and I scrubbed. And luckily, all of the scratches, because it looked like huge scratches, they all came off, because it was just the paint from the pole that got stuck on the car. So hallelujah, all of the paint was off, but I still had to go home with this huge dent. So I get home and I pull into the yard, and our yard was like this. If you come from work, you could see our cars parked, and I'm like, I don't want anyone seeing that I dented this car, because it was very obvious. So I pulled in sideways into our yard so no one could see it. And my husband got home and he looked at it, but the sun was busy setting. So he looked at it and he was like, no, it's not that bad. I had like worse. And here I have to say, thank goodness for my husband and my in-laws, because they all were like, listen, it's fine. It happens to everyone. Now you're like a real driver. And like, I have hit my car. I've hit my husband's car, what. And so my husband's like, no, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. The next morning, when the sunlight hit that dent, he was like, oh, okay, now I see what you mean. And so I've been driving with this dented car from February up until now. We could have gave it in quite much earlier, like in April, but we were just too lazy, to be honest. So we just drove with it. And then August, we gave it in. The start of August, it was in for 3 weeks. But now she's fixed and she's ready to go and ready to hit the road. And I'm not going to harm her anymore. But yeah, that was quite an intense story.